Question 1. In the context of ductwork design for a multi-zone commercial building, what is the primary concern when balancing airflow across multiple branches using manual dampers? A. The total static pressure must remain below 0.1 throughout the system. B. The airflow velocity must remain constant regardless of duct length. C. Equal static pressure drops must be maintained across all zones. D. Dampers must be installed in the return plenum rather than the supply. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. When balancing airflow using manual dampers, the aim is to create equal pressure drops across branches to ensure designed CFM is delivered to each zone. This is critical in multi-zone systems to maintain comfort and efficiency. According to SMAPNA Duct Design Manual and Manual D guidelines, a uniform pressure loss in duct branches ensures proper distribution. Options A and B misrepresent system behavior while D confuses damper placement. Question 2. As illustrated by Mr. Reynolds' experience during an HVACR install in a rural home, he noticed intermittent breaker tripping after connecting a heat pump system. What should Mr. Reynolds investigate first? A. Confirm whether the defrost board is compatible with the outdoor sensor. B. Check whether the compressor is properly grounded. C. Measure the array of the compressor against breaker sizing. D. Verify that the reversing valve solenoid is energized correctly. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. High locked rotor amps array can cause nuisance tripping if the breaker is undersized or if starting controls are missing. Per NEC Article 440 and manufacturer data, comparing array to breaker and wire sizing is crucial. Options A, B, and D may affect operation but not likely cause immediate tripping on startup. Breaker coordination to compressor specs is essential for safety and reliability. Question 3. Through careful analysis of tubing installation in a mini-split system, why is it critical to maintain proper bend radius during copper tubing installation? A. To maintain suction line velocity and prevent oil logging. B. To ensure visual accessibility of joints for leak detection. C. To enhance the insulation's R value across the system. D. To prevent galvanic corrosion between dissimilar metals. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Improper bend radius can reduce internal diameter, lowering refrigerant velocity and hindering oil return to the compressor. This can lead to compressor damage over time. According to ASHRAE Handbook, Refrigeration and RSA's installation guidelines, bends should be smooth and meet manufacturer radius specs. B and C are secondary concerns and D applies more to mixed metal joints, not bending. Question 4. When considering the electrical hookup of a packaged rooftop ULTU, which of the following conditions would most likely cause the unit to short cycle on the control side? A. Improperly sized suction accumulator. B. Thermostat placed near supply register. C. High pressure switch left in manual reset. D. Oversized liquid line dryer. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A thermostat near a supply register may sense cooled air prematurely, causing the RU to short cycle. This reduces comfort and increases wear. According to Manual S and ASHRAE control zone placement standards, thermostat location should reflect the average room temperature. AC and D might cause operational or protection issues, but not short cycling due to control sensing. Question 5. The development of variable refrigerant flow (VRF) systems has introduced which of the following primary challenges for certified HVACR installers? A. Difficulty charging the system due to microchannel condensers. B. Complexity in zoning due to non-modulating compressors. C. Need for precise refrigerant weight measurements per branch. D. Incompatibility with smart thermostat controls. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. ERF systems require accurate refrigerant charge calculations, often to the gram, especially when installing branch selector boxes or multiple indoor units. Improper charge affects performance and warranty. Manufacturer installation guidelines and ASHRAE ERF standards highlight this. A is unrelated to ERF. B is incorrect. ERF systems use modulating compressors, and D is no longer valid with modern integrations. Question 6. Based on the information Mr. LeBlanc collected during a furnace replacement in a home with old galvanized ductwork, what should be his first step before sizing the new system? A. Replace the duct system entirely to match new efficiency levels. B. Perform a manual J-load calculation for updated occupancy. C. Use rule of thumb B-TUS to approximate sizing. D. Check that the return grill dimensions exceed 150 square inches. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Manual J-load calculations are the industry standard for proper equipment sizing, especially when building usage, occupancy, or installation has changed. Outdated rules of thumb can lead to oversizing or undersizing. Per CAM Manual J, accurate sizing reduces short cycling and improves efficiency. A may be required later, C is outdated, and D is insufficient as a first step. Question 7. Under the assumption that a refrigerant leak is suspected in a newly installed split system, what is the recommended first diagnostic step for a certified installer? A. Spray all fittings with soap bubbles to locate leaks. B. Evacuate the system to 500 microns and watch for rise. C. Charge with nitrogen and conduct a pressure test. D. Recover refrigerant and recharge with fresh supply. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Nitrogen pressure testing is the first step in leak detection in accordance with EPA Section 608 and R400 TINA manufacturer guidelines. It's safe, non-reactive, and effective before introducing refrigerant. Soap bubbles are less reliable for microlooks. B. Tests vacuum integrity, not pressure leaks. D. Is premature unless the leak is confirmed and repaired. Question 8. From a practical standpoint, which of the following tools must be used to properly torque flare connections on a ductless mini-split system? A. Channel lock pliers. B. Open-end wrench and hand feel. C. Digital torque wrench set to manufacturer's specification. D. Ratchet wrench with extension bar. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Digital or click-type torque wrenches ensure flares are tightened per manufacturer torque specs to prevent leaks or cracks. Improper torque can damage connections or cause refrigerant loss. ANSI ESRI 15 and installation manuals emphasize proper torquing. A and B offer no precision, and D lacks torque control. Question 9. Throughout the course of wiring an air handler, what safety check must always be completed prior to energizing the system for the first time? A. Confirm that low voltage wires are twisted tightly together. B. Verify L to ground and L to ground voltage is under 5 of. C. Confirm polarity of transformer connections. D. Verify proper grounding and bonding at the disconnect. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Proper grounding and bonding is critical for installer safety and equipment protection. Per NEC 250, it ensures a clear fault path and prevents shock hazards. Voltage from LL to ground. B is in primary check. A and C may affect operation but aren't direct safety checks. Always ensure grounding before energizing any HVAC equipment. Question 10. To illustrate this point, during a training scenario, is Salazar connected a thermostat, but the system wouldn't initiate cooling. The voltage reading between R and Y was 24, yet no call to the contactor occurred. What is the most probable cause? A. The thermostat is not rated for multi-stage cooling. B. There is an open common wire to the air handler. C. The contactor coil has shorted internally. D. The indoor blower is wired for heating mode only. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A missing common wire. C means there is no complete 24th path, so the voltage appears across R and Y but no current flows. The contactor doesn't engage. NEC 725 and low voltage wiring practices dictate proper C wire connections. A affects staging but not basic cooling. C would blow fuse. D affects airflow but not contactor operation. Question 11. The underlying principle of pressure-temperature relationship is critical during refrigerant charging. When charging a split system using R400 TINA, what indicates that the system has reached an optimal charge using the subcooling method? A. The suction line feels cold to the touch. B. The subcooling value matches the manufacturer's target at given ambient conditions. C. The superheat is lower than 10 deg. D. The sight glass is completely clear. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Subcooling is used on systems with and ensures that liquid refrigerant is fully condensed before entering the metering device. Manufacturer specifications must be followed for target subcooling, often between 815 decks depending on design. Per ASHRAE fundamentals and a CAM manual S site glasses, D are unreliable, A is subjective, and C refers to fixed orifice systems OTXP. Question 12. When evaluating the merits of a multi-zone mini-split installation, what is the most significant factor an HVACR installer must consider when determining line set lengths? A. Total elevation change from indoor to outdoor units. B. Ambient temperature during installation. C. Number of BTUs per zone. D. Total voltage drop across communication wire. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. In multi-zone systems, refrigerant charge must be adjusted for both horizontal length and vertical elevation, with manufacturers giving specific tables. Elevation impacts all return and refrigerant migration. Per manufacturer installation manuals and ASHRAE ERF guidelines, overlooking elevation can result in compressor failure. B, C, and D influence performance but don't directly dictate charge. Question 13. During the process of soldering a liquid line to a ELAD, what practice must an HVACR certified installer follow to avoid internal component damage? A. Use an oxygen acetylene torch for faster heating. B. Remove the TSSV before soldering and reinstall after cooling. C. Purge nitrogen through the system while brazing. D. Apply flux to the valve body and connections. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Nitrogen purging during brazing prevents oxidation and carbon buildup inside the lines. This is required IRCs and NATE guidelines, as oxidized scale can damage SSVS and compressors. B. Adds unnecessary risk and labor. A. Introduces too much heat. And D is incorrect. Flux is for soldering copper, not valve bodies. Question 14. Given the circumstances of a rooftop unit install where both condensate drain pans are active, which of the following is the most likely reason for dual pan activation? A. The system is running in heating mode with a humidifier. B. The secondary drain pan was incorrectly installed lower than the primary. C. The primary drain line is restricted or clogged. D. The thermostat is wired to initiate simultaneous heating and cooling. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. If the primary pan or drain line is clogged, water overflows into the secondary pan. This is a safety mechanism per Inc. Section 30723, which requires auxiliary drain protection for equipment above ceilings. A and D involve operational mode confusion, while B is a poor install but wouldn't cause overflow without blockage. Question 15. When faced with a site where the return duct is routed through an unconditioned attic, what must the HVACR certified installer do to ensure code compliance and energy efficiency? A. Ensure the return duct is oversized by 10% to compensate. B. Insulate the return duct to minimum R8 per code. C. Install a booster fan to maintain air velocity. D. Use aluminum ducting to reduce thermal losses. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Codes require return ducts in unconditioned spaces to be insulated. Typically minimum R8 for ducts equals 3 in diameter. Uninsulated returns can cause latent heat gains, reducing efficiency and causing condensation. A. C and D don't solve the insulation and dew point issues that code addresses. Question 16. According to recent studies, why is it critical for an HVACR installer to calculate voltage drop during long thermostat wire runs to outdoor units? A. To determine if a larger thermostat is required. B. To ensure transformer is upgraded to 75 VAR minimum. C. To prevent low voltage lockouts in control boards. D. To verify thermostat can control multi-stage cooling. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Excessive voltage drop can lead to control boards sensing low voltage fault, causing system lockouts or erratic operation. Per NEC Article 725 and control manufacturer guidelines, wiring should be sized to minimize voltage drop across long distances. A and D are relevant and B may be true but not always necessary if drop is controlled. Question 17. What factors contribute to an HVAC system pulling return air from the attic space despite ductwork appearing sealed? A. Negative pressure from oversized blower motor. B. Improper duct sizing on the supply side. C. Poorly sealed equipment cabinet or filter access. D. Excessive refrigerant charge increasing suction pressure. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Air handlers and furnaces can draw unconditioned air if cabinet seams or filter doors leak, especially under negative pressure. This affects efficiency and indoor air quality. Energy Star and account quality installation guidelines emphasize cabinet sealing. It may increase airflow, but won't pull from the attic unless there's leak path. B and D are unrelated to return air leakage. Question 18. As a result of improper pipe pitch, a technician notices oil pooling in a horizontal suction line over 20 feet long. What is the best corrective action? A. Add a suction line accumulator. B. Pitch the suction line toward the compressor at 1.2 inch per 10 feet. C. Increase suction line diameter by 1 nominal size. D. Install a secondary oil trap at midpoint. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Suction lines must be pitched toward the compressor to allow oil to return. Per ASHRAE and manufacturer guidelines, the standard pitch is 1 per 10 feet. Accumulators, A, are for protection, not flow correction. C, may worsen the issue by reducing velocity. D is used only on long risers, not horizontal runs. Question 19. Taking into account airflow best practices, which situation is most likely to create significant pressure drop across? A filter rack in a furnace. A. Using a MERV 6 filter during summer. B. Installing filters with airflow arrows facing backwards. C. Locating the filter rack immediately after the evaporator coil. D. Replacing a pleated filter with a fiberglass one. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Backward filter installation significantly increases resistance as the pleats are not designed to handle airflow in reverse. This creates static pressure issues, reduces airflow, and risks coil freeze. Per ASHRAE 62.2 and Manual D, correct filter orientation is critical. A and D reduce pressure drop. C is an incorrect sequence but not a pressure cause. Question 20. The core principles of proper condenser location include which of the following installation guidelines? A. Place condenser on the roof for best efficiency. B. Mount the unit facing the sun for maximum capacity. C. Ensure 1.2 inches of clearance on all serviceable sides. D. Locate the unit below indoor coil for gravity-assisted refrigerant flow. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Per manufacturer specifications E.g. Lennox Carrier and Inc. Section 1105, clearance around the condenser ensures proper airflow and service access. Lack of clearance causes overheating and short cycling. A and D are situational and not mandatory. B is incorrect. Shading condensers is often encouraged, not direct sun exposure. Question 21. From the perspective of efficient duct design, what is the primary concern when transitioning from a rectangular to a round duct section in a residential air distribution system? A. Ensuring that the air velocity increases through the round duct. B. Maintaining equivalent friction loss and CFM capacity. C. Changing static pressure to account for duct shape. D. Balancing the return airflow to the conditioned space. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. When transitioning duct shapes, it's essential to maintain equivalent friction loss and airflow (CFM) to preserve system performance. The SMACNA Duct Design Manual and Manual D emphasize maintaining duct sizing that meets pressure and flow criteria. A and C confuse velocity with flow rate, and D is unrelated unless the duct in question is part of the return. Question 22. During the process of commissioning a newly installed gas furnace, Mr. Kim observed that the inducer motor starts but the ignition fails repeatedly. What is the most probable cause? A. Clogged flame sensor. B. Incorrect polarity at the electrical disconnect. C. Improperly sized flue pipe. D. Faulty pressure switch not closing. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. The pressure switch verifies proper draft from the inducer. If it doesn't close, the ignition sequence hops. NFPA 54 and manufacturer startup protocols require verification of venting and pressure switch operation. And B. May affect flame sensing or control board, but not cause immediate ignition lockout. C. Affects long-term venting, but not immediate ignition. Question 23. In a modern context of high-efficiency equipment, what installation practice is required to prevent premature condensate pump failure in a 90% plus FU furnace? A. Run condensate tubing uphill before reaching the pump. B. Use only metal tubing for acidic condensate discharge. C. Install a condensate neutralizer upstream of the pump. D. Mount the pump above the base of the furnace cabinet. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. High-efficiency furnaces produce acidic condensate which can corrode condensate pump components. A neutralizer required by INC 30721 prolongs pump life and protects drainage systems. A. Impedes flow. B. Is incorrect. Plastic is preferred. D. Is invalid. A gravity-fed entry is needed for pump operation. Question 24. A key distinction between copper tubing and PEX in residential HVACR applications is that PEX should never be used for which of the following? A. Hot water distribution lines. B. Drain piping from a 95% furnace. C. Condensate lines under 3 GPM. D. Refrigerant line sets in ductless systems. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. PEX is not rated for refrigerants and cannot be used in refrigerant circuits. Only copper or specialized refrigerant-rated piping can be used per manufacturer specifications, and all listings A, B, and C are acceptable in certain configurations, but D violates pressure, chemical, and thermal compatibility requirements. Question 25. Examining the consequences of using oversized equipment in a tightly sealed home, which of the following is a likely outcome? A. Higher SEER and improved energy efficiency. B. Increased humidity levels and short cycling. C. Better filtration due to increased blower runtime. D. Extended compressor life from reduced run times. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Oversizing leads to short cycling, causing the system to run inefficiently and remove less humidity. This is critical in tight homes with low infiltration. Per CAM Manual S and J, proper sizing ensures comfort and efficiency. A and D are incorrect. Short cycling actually reduces SEER and compressor life. C may be true in continuous fan mode, but not during cycles. Question 26. During the installation of a new air handler in an existing home, Delgado observes that the evaporator coil is sweating excessively. Which factor is most likely contributing to this issue? A. Improperly insulated suction line. B. Overcharged system by 10% refrigerant volume. C. Unbalanced blower wheel causing low airflow. D. Improperly sealed return duct in a hot attic. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. A leaky return duct in a hot attic draws in warm, humid air, causing the coil to sweat due to high dew point exposure. This leads to moisture accumulation and energy loss. According to Manual D and Energy Star R guidelines, return ducts must be sealed. A. Causes heat gain in lines. B. It affects pressure but not sweating directly. And C. Reduces capacity but not necessarily condensation. Question 27. When analyzing the electrical circuit of a heat pump system, what could result from a shared neutral wire between the indoor fan relay and defrost control board? A. Increased blower efficiency. B. Erratic defrost initiation. C. Overcurrent tripping of the indoor breaker. D. Proper dual stage heating activation. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Shared neutral wiring creates ground loop or voltage drop issues, especially in low voltage control circuits. This may cause erratic control behavior, including false defrost triggers. NEC Article 725 warns against mixing loads on shared neutrals in Class 2 circuits. A and D are irrelevant, and C is unlikely due to low amperage. Question 20. To determine whether an HVAC system is running below capacity, which of the following field tests should be conducted first? A. Subcooling measurement at condenser. B. Return and supply airflow measurement. C. Suction pressure reading. D. Superheat evaluation and evaporator outlet. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Airflow is the first parameter to confirm. If airflow is insufficient, no amount of refrigerant adjustment will fix capacity issues. HVACR Manual D and NATECOR standards recommend CFM verification before further diagnostics. A, C, and D may indicate refrigerant side issues but are not meaningful if airflow is incorrect. Question 29. In light of recent developments in system efficiency, why must installers avoid liquid line filter dryer installation with the arrow pointing toward the condenser? A. It results in increased compressor runtime. B. It causes excess subcooling. C. It blocks refrigerant flow to the TSSB. D. It introduces contaminated refrigerant into the compressor. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. A filter dryer must be installed with the arrow in the direction of refrigerant flow toward evaporator. Installing it backward bypasses its desiccant and introduces moisture and debris directly into the metering device and compressor. Manufacturer guidelines and RSA's best practices stress correct orientation. A, B, and C may occur secondarily but are not root effects. Question 30. From multiple perspectives, which of the following practices ensures the safest and most co-compliant method for routing low-voltage control wires in a commercial rooftop installation? A. Secure wires to the high-voltage conduit for support. B. Run control wires inside the same conduit as line voltage conductors. C. Use self-rated cable ties to support wires independently from metal edges. D. Allow slack in the wire bundle to account for thermal expansion. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Low voltage wiring must be supported independently per NEC 300.11 and 725 and must not be run in the same conduit as high voltage wires unless rated for Class 1 circuits. Rated ties are safe for rooftop environments. A and B risk electrical code violations, and D may cause wires to contact hot or sharp surfaces.